Hello, wonderful people, friends out there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find yourself today. I bring you greetings from Africa International Organization and CERTO Leadership International. Today, we're going to continue with our series on understanding the principle of work. Understanding the principle of work. I believe we all had a wonderful week. In pondering over the things we discussed last week and trying to understand them and trying to put them into practice. Because the essence of Leadership Academy is not just to sit here and talk, but for us to practice the things we discuss in order for us to see transformation in our lives. Anywhere I go to speak, I tell people I'm not a motivational speaker. I don't motivate people. I'm a transformational speaker. I speak to transform lives. I speak to your innermost being to understand the principles and the purpose for your existence. And so we are here not to just talk, but we are here to discuss issues that will help us transform our lives and transform our communities. That is our agenda. All right. So last week we spoke about work and we defined work as the reason we exist. We defined work as why we are living. And so we spoke about hard work not being the panacea for success because success is defined by purpose. So if you can work hard as you want, if you're not working within the confines of purpose, your hard work will be in vain. Today, I just want us to do a little bit more studies. We would turn to the dictionary for some definitions, and as we go along, we would delve deep into those definitions and find out how we can apply those things to what we're studying today. I want us to take a look at hard work. I am going to look at I'll Google it. So if you have your phone or you have your laptop, whatever you have with you that can help you Google, um, we would do that. And so, as I said last week, that hard work is not the panacea for success. In other words, when you find your purpose, when you find your gift, you don't work hard, you work. You don't work hard. The moment it becomes hard for you to work, then you got to question whether you are working within the areas of your giftings or you're working within the areas of your ability. These are two separate things. So I just want us to read the definition for hard work. And I Googled what is the definition of hard work, and this is what I got. You can Google it so we can, compare notes. I don't want you to think that I'm just pulling something out of my ears. And it says hard work. Now, a great deal of effort or endurance. And then it says it takes hard work to be successful in business. So hard work, it says a great deal of effort and endurance, a great deal of effort and endurance. And so this is why hard work has nothing to do with work. If you find your gift, if you find your purpose, you don't need to work hard. As a matter of fact, the gift is doing what you do effortless. So you do what you do or you work effortlessly because it comes from within. It is something you've been gifted with. It's something which is within you. So you don't need to work hard to exhibit it, or you don't need to work hard to bring it out. And one of the things I always say is I believe that the eagle, the eagle must be working hard to run. So running probably is hard work for the eagle because the eagle is not built to run. The eagle is built to fly or to soar, whichever way you want to put it. So for the eagle, flying is not hard work. That is its nature. So when you find your purpose, what you were doing in service to your community does not become hard work. It becomes your nature. It becomes your life. This is the life you were born to live. So you live it effortlessly. You live it without any extra endurance or any extra effort to achieve it. It comes out of you naturally. So that is why work. You don't need to work hard to become successful in life. Because what, first of all, you have to find out what is the purpose of my life. And if you find out your gift, then you know what your purpose is. And if you know what your purpose is, then you live that life, which is the work you've been assigned to do in fulfillment of that purpose. So you live that life by working, not working hard. The moment work becomes hard, then you got to understand that it is not an area for you. You have no business doing what you're doing. The moment it becomes hard for you, you got to question whether it's based on ability or it is based on gift. If it is based on ability, yes, it's going to be hard because you got to burn the midnight candle. You got to put in extra effort. You got to pull your weight up in order for you to be able to fulfill that particular agenda. But then, if it is a gift, you don't need that extra effort. There's a life you live. And again, the bird or the eagle, I believe, works hard to run. But the eagle does not work hard to fly because flight is built in the eagle. That is its nature. So when you find your work, the work you've been assigned to do on earth in service of humanity, when you find that work, you realize that you don't need to work hard. You work, you live that life because that is your nature. It comes out of you naturally. I have some points I want us to take a look at. So, one of the points is work gives you meaning. Work gives you meaning. Remember, I didn't say hard work. I said work gives you meaning. In other words, when you find the work you were born to do, you find meaning for your life. Because your work defines your life. That is what defines your life. Your work defines your life. So, like I said last week, if you don't work, if you're not working, it means you're not living. Because you're not fulfilling the purpose for which you were born. And that is work. So, one of the things I want us to clarify today, I'll try to squeeze everything in so we'll end exactly at 30 minutes because I'm hard pressed for time today. I have a lot of programs today to attend to, so I'm going to be pushing a little faster so we'll be able to finish everything up in 30 minutes. But then if anybody has a question, you can always send us your questions on YouTube or Facebook. You can send us your questions and we're definitely going to respond. So I want us to take a look at something today. You see, most of the time we confuse ambition with purpose. Ambitions are different from purpose. want us to look into this a little more. First, like I said, today we're going to be doing a lot more reading from the dictionary because we want to study to understand something. And so if you have your cell phone, your laptop, whatever you have, your pad, let's look for the definition of ambition. Okay, so I googled the definition of ambition, and this is what it says: a strong desire to do or to achieve something, typically requiring determination and hard work. A strong desire to do or to achieve something, typically requiring determination and hard work. So ambitions are not the same as purpose. Let me dwell a little bit more on ambitions. One, ambitions are selfish. I would also give my definition of ambition. This is the definition we got from the dictionary or from Google, which I believe it pulls from the various dictionaries. So you can check, I think they have dictionary.com. You can check from the various dictionaries and it's going to give you. But one thing that runs within the theme of ambition is selfishness. Ambitions are personal. Let me look for what I wrote about ambitions. Okay, this is my definition for ambition. I said ambition is a personal goal or agenda to satisfy one's personal ego. So ambition is a personal goal or agenda to satisfy one's personal goals or to satisfy one personal ambition. So when I have ego, sorry, when I have an ambition, it means it is personal to me. It is important for me to achieve that ambition because it is going to satisfy my ego. So in other words, I don't care what I have to do to fulfill that ambition. I have to, even if it means stepping on others' toes, stepping on people's heads, stepping on people's shoulders to achieve that ambition. I am going to do just that because the ambition is my personal drive to satisfy my ego. So let us not confuse ambitions with purpose. But I always say that purpose precedes ambitions. Anytime you understand the principle of work, you understand that purpose precedes ambitions. Work is driven by purpose. When you find your work, it is driven by purpose. Job is driven by ambitions. Job is driven by ambitions. In other words, this is my ability. I have learned this job to do it. Why? To fulfill my personal ambitions, either to make money or to make name for myself. So that is what drives job, ambitions. But work is driven by purpose. I want us to take a look again at the definition of purpose. As like I said, today we're going to be doing a lot of reading. So I'm trying to find the definition of purpose here. When you Google what is the definition of purpose, it's going to give you. It says the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. Again, and I Googled it. All I said, I Googled was what is the definition of purpose? And it gave me this. It's a noun. And it says one, the reason for which something is done or created for which something exists. So we understand that purpose is the reason for which something is created or is done. In other words, purpose is assigned to that thing by whoever creates that thing. So purpose is not within the powers of the creation. Let me put it that way. Purpose is within the powers of the creator, not within the powers of the creator. And if we are not the creators of ourselves, then it means purpose is not within our power. Purpose has been assigned to us. It is not within our power. So, if purpose is not within our power, then we cannot determine what we want to do and what we don't want to do. Now, let us go to the definition I have assigned to purpose. And I read, purpose is nature's goal for your existence in service of humanity. Purpose is nature's goal for our existence. In other words, it is not our ambition. It is not our goal. It is nature that has assigned those purposes to us. So it is not within our power. It is not within our scope. So I cannot say I am changing my purpose. No. That is why I cannot choose the work I want to do. As a matter of fact, my work chose me. I did not choose my work. In other words, I am living because of my work. So my work has been assigned to me. Your work has been assigned to you. That is why you don't need an employer to work. Yes, you need an employer for a job. But when it comes to work, you don't need an employer for work. Because your work has been assigned to you by nature. And that is what defines your existence and my existence. So when we understand the difference between ambition and purpose, it makes it easy for us to know whether we are working or we are jobbing. Let me use that word. I don't even know if it's a word, but I'm using it anyway. So when you find your purpose or the work you've been assigned to do, all you do is to fulfill that particular assignment or purpose. And purpose, which is assigned to us by nature, would always be in service of humanity. Purpose is to serve humanity. It is not for us. It is to serve humanity. Ambitions is to satisfy one's ego. I made it. I worked for it. I worked hard for it. It is me. But purpose is not me. It is the life I was born to live in service to my community. So, job again is driven by ambitions. Your job, you set up ambitions for your job, either to make money, to acquire wealth, to acquire fame, to acquire popularity, to acquire power, to acquire whatever that will satisfy your ego. But my work, like I said, we read it we Googled it. the definition for purpose. My work, which has been assigned to me to fulfill a particular purpose, is driven by my purpose in life. And so, if it is driven by my purpose, then I would do what is right in fulfillment of that purpose. But if my job, it is my personal ambition, driven by my personal ambition, then I would do anything in fulfillment or to satisfy that ambition. So sometimes we have to be very careful when we use those two words. When it's personal and it says my ego, it is not purpose, it is ambition. When it's in the service of humanity and it's in fulfillment of an assignment, then it becomes a purpose. Because then the issue is not me. The issue is about how to better my community, how to better humanity. And so you don't need an employer to work. And even when you understand the essence of work and the purpose of work, trust me, even in your job places, you will find work. I want to repeat this. It's very important. When you understand the essence and the importance of your work, even at your job places where we are jobbing, again, I want to use that word. I don't even know if it's a word, but I'm using it anyway today. Forgive me, those English scholars, not one of them. But when you understand the essence and the purpose of work, even in your job places, you find work. I visited a psychiatric hospital one time, and I realized an interesting occurrence. I saw one of the nurses, the psychiatric nurses, with a whip, trying to whip this older gentleman who probably will be in his between late 50s to early 60s. So I asked this lady, why are you trying to whip this older gentleman? And she was like, yeah, he's been so adamant. I wanted him to take a shower and he wouldn't do it. Until this morning, I've been forcing him to take a shower and he wouldn't do it. So while I was talking to her, this nurse came along who was just assumed her shift. And she walked over to the gentleman, mentioned the gentleman by name, and asked the gentleman how he was doing. So the gentleman responded. And the gentleman decided to complain to the new nurse about the nurse I was talking to. The fact that the nurse is maltreating him. So this new nurse spoke kindly to this gentleman and asked him, so she asked the other nurse, has he taken a shower? The nurse said, no, that's what I'm trying to let him do. And he wouldn't budge. I've been trying the whole day and he wouldn't listen to me. So this new nurse went straight to the gentleman, spoke to the gentleman, and within some few minutes, the gentleman grabbed the sponge, grabbed his stuff, walked straight to the bathroom to take a shower. So I said to this nurse, this is a job, right? She said, yes. I said, are you really here to work? She was like, why do you think I came here this morning? If it had not been for the fact that I'm here to work, I wouldn't be here anyway. I said, no, I'm not asking if you're here for a job, to job. I'm asking if you're here to work. Obviously, this scenario tells me that you are in the wrong place. You are here because it's your job, right? It's not your work. That nurse, I can tell this is her work. And she's not here for a job. because they're not even paid. She was a junior nurse. She's not even paid that much, as much as you are being paid. But you see the relationship she has with the patients. It tells you this is her work. She's patient. She's loving. She's caring. She's understanding. But the other lady, that is her job. She's not there to serve anybody. She's there to satisfy her ambitions, to make money. So these are the two different. Recently, we had a government shutdown, and I was talking to this gentleman, and he said, going to work has been very hard, but I got to go. I said, why don't you call us? Because you're not being paid anyway. And this is what he told me. I find fulfillment in this work. It's not about the pay. He said, I find fulfillment in this work, and it's not about the pay. So we got to understand the principle of work. And if we understand the principle of work, you don't need an employer to work. And anywhere you find yourself, this morning my kids were asking me, Daddy, are you going to work? I said, yes. They say, but you don't go to work on weekends. I said, yes, I don't go to work on weekends. I don't go to my job on weekends, but I work every day. Because outside of my job, I still have to work. And like we said last week, your job has a time frame. It is 7 to 3 or 6 to whatever time. And you can be fired from your job, but nobody can fire you from your work. The only thing that can stop you from working is you and death. So with us and work till death do us part. Nothing or nobody can stop you from working. So find your gift and begin to work and live the life you were born to live. And in that sense, work does not become hard. It does not become hard work for you. Because as we read from the dictionary, hard work is putting in extra effort. But when you find your purpose, when you find your gift, you don't put in extra effort. It comes naturally because that is what you were born to do. So the eagle does not put in extra effort to fly. That is its nature. So flight is built in the eagle. It's its nature. What is your nature? What is built in you? What is it that you do effortlessly? What is it that you do that gives you joy? What is it that you do in the service of humanity that you do it with gladness from the depths of your heart, and you would do it anytime, any day, anywhere? Because when it comes to work, you are not confined. Humanity is all over the place. What is it that you're gifted to do in service of humanity? That is your work. That is your work. And when you find that, hard work ceases. When you find that, work begins. You don't work hard. And like I said, somebody like Steve Harvey, I'm pretty sure does not work hard to tell jokes. It comes to him naturally because that is his gift. Bob Color does not work hard to tell jokes. As a matter of fact, that is the life they live. Their daily life is full of jokes. You wake this person 12 midnight. In the dead of the night, the person will tell you a joke. Because that is the nature of the person. So today, I just want us to understand the purpose of work. Find yourself. What am I doing here? Am I doing it from the depths of my heart? Am I doing it because I am getting paid? Am I doing it because it is in service to humanity and it gives me joy? Am I doing it effortlessly, or I had to sweat, put in extra effort, burn the midnight candle to be able to fulfill this particular assignment? And like I said, I am really crunched for time today, so it's already 30 minutes. Those of you who have questions, you can please go to Facebook, AfriWake International Organization, inbox us. We're definitely going to respond to those questions. And next week, by this time, I'm not too sure about the time next week, but I will keep us updated as to what time we're going to be meeting next week, or we're going to have the Facebook Live next week. Because next week the schedule is going to be shifted a little bit. I'm not too sure, but I would definitely by Wednesday we'll be able to keep you guys updated and make sure that we meet next week at that time, so we will continue our Leadership Academy discussions. Thank you so much for listening. I see Kwaku Ofosu Sapon, Bra Ligwa. I see Mr. Moon, Mr. Moon, Mr. Moon. How are you doing, my brother? All righty. So thank you all for listening. This is Nana Osei Bonsu Jr. of AfriWake International Organization and Turtle Leadership International. Until we meet again next week, I say, live a fulfilled life. Don't work hard, but work. Live the life you were born to live. Thank you. God bless you. Shalom.